This is EC3 with TNA Wrestling, and you are listening to the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.
Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network. Here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
It was Black Friday for WWE as they released 8 superstars / talent. And unfortunately, it was Black Friday for This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. Steve is no longer with us. Steve is gone. We had to make some cuts here with the show. We have website bills to pay, and Steve was just getting paid way too much for us to afford. So, plus, if you haven't read Steve's lengthy blog about his pay raise he needed here at This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, it just was too much. So we like to wish Steve good luck in his future endeavors. Just kidding. Steve is here in studio.
Hey, everybody.
Steve is not going anywhere. But Black Friday was for WWE, and we'll get into that. So plenty of topics to talk about in the world of wrestling.
You would think that Black Friday would have meant that they had all sorts of sales on WWE.com.
No, well, if you want to buy Ryback stuff, it's for sale in the clearance section, I believe, on WWEshop.com. But this is Awesome Wrestling Show. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com is the website. Follow us on Twitter, TIA Wrestling, also Instagram, and like us on Facebook. Also, the website is our main stream of content. You can find not only our past shows and interviews, but also some news tidbits. We don't post everything that goes on in the world of wrestling, but when we do, it's either something you should be interested in. And on the website right now, you can check it out. How much is Chris Jericho's jacket really worth? That's up there as well. We'll also be talking about this in probably the closing of the show. The new WWE Encyclopedia features past and present stars. The cover of it, but no Hulk Hogan story up there, and the photo of the new cover is there. Something we will be talking about is EC3, his controversial shoot promo at Evolve. That whole transcript and video of that is on the website. And finally, a post that you probably should be taking care of, reading tweets about is Val Venus taking some shots at Ryback and Cameron on social media, which leads into...
Were they money shots?
They were not money shots at all.
Just Twitter shots.
Just Twitter shots.
Okay.
So, getting into that, it was Black Friday. We saw 8 employees of WWE just not get renewed, contracts renewed. They leave WWE to doing their own thing. Notable, we're not going to spend that much time on this because I'm sure everybody has vented or gave their opinion on it. But we did see Damian Sandow, a crowd favorite, a man not used the correct way for most of his career, be released. Wade Barrett, Hornswoggle, Mr. Zeb Coulter is gone. Cameron's gone.
Yeah.
Who else was there?
Santino, but
yeah,
Santino and Zeb are like those ones. They're not really performers.
Yeah.
They're just they filled their role, what they were needed for. You kind of expect things like that.
And also some other ones that were El Torito is released.
Right, El Torito.
Alex Riley is released. Couldn't happen to a better guy, in my opinion, but he's gone as well. But when looking at this and looking at the world of wrestling now, and there are so many, even though there is only one major company in WWE, there are so many smaller sized companies that these guys can go to. You have Ring of Honor, you have Lucha Underground, New Japan. You can go to the UK. ICW can pay you well as well. So, for the guy like Wade Barrett, who said on Twitter he'd be taking his time away from wrestling for a bit.
Yeah.
Probably go into acting. He can go back to his home country. And
he can make a killing.
Oh, definitely
over there. That's kind of been a rumor for a while too, is that he wanted to get more into the acting.
Yeah.
I could see him just not wrestling anymore.
Yeah. but still, indie scene in America, he can make a killing.
Sure.
Damian Sandow, who is obviously a crowd favorite. It was not a surprise seeing him get let go, but I think it's good for him. He'll make a killing on the indie scene.
Oh, yeah.
Just being who, entertaining as he is. And, is Santi Morella going to be? Probably not. Cameron, who cares? Hornswoggle could be coming to a town near you because he's making the rounds as well. So, I mean...
Could you see Hornswoggle and El Torito renew their rivalry at AIW here in Cleveland?
I would not be a fan of that whatsoever. But who knows?
Put butts in the seats.
With AIW, who knows? But... Wade Barrett, definitely Damian Sandow, two guys that will, if they want to continue wrestling, which I'm sure they will, can make a load of money. Maybe not as much as WWE, just because they were there for so long, and more money they make. But still, it's not fun getting fired. So
no, there's more to come.
Yeah.
From what we've heard.
Yeah,
the interesting thing that you bring up in there for me. As we talk about all these other brands, and so what we've heard, there are more people coming up, which, by the way, shout out to hometown girl Dana Brooke appearing on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
so she's the next
7 Hills.
She's the next female to come up. But they're expecting more to come up within this year, within this month. I think the number thrown out somewhere thought was like 30 people, or I don't know, 15 to 30 guys that will come up at some point.
Yeah.
They're going to have the largest roster ever. That's insane to me. We already talk about how there's just too much going on this 3-hour show. One doesn't need to be that long, and it's hard to follow. To have even more people on that roster is nuts, which makes me think they're plucking people. Is the talent field even larger now than it ever was? That even so with NXT and everything, to the point where should we be seeing a second brand competing with them? And why aren't we? If the talent field is this large, right? Or is it not that large, and because of it, they just need to keep bringing people up to keep it fresh?
I think it's just the ladder.
The ladder?
I think it's just people coming up, keeping it fresh, and some new faces, seeing if it works. Just because they come up doesn't mean they're going to be on the roster for a year. Look at Tyler Breeze. He could be a guy that could be on the way out just because Vince reportedly, in January gave up on him, and Triple H kind of backed him, and that's why he's on, he's where he's at. But he's a comedy gig now. He's not even taking serious. In NXT, I think he was hot. People loved him, and he came up, and Enzo and Cass, they were over because of their chance, but how long is that going to last? It's Tyler Breeze was kind of hot when he came up, and then that phased out. So just because a guy comes up doesn't mean it's going to last. So I think it's time. I think it's time for the guys from NXT, the cream of the crop, to get their chance, because we have no clue if they're going to make it in WWE. If they don't, then they can be sent down or released or repackaged in some way. But I think it's more of finding out if these guys have what it takes to stick, some new faces, and if they don't, they know what to work with, and they can go back to what they have, the old guys coming up.
Sure,
basically.
sure. It would appear that the days of, you look at the three big names off that list in Sandow, Wade Barrett, and I'm going to throw Santino out there. Those are three guys that were with the company for almost 10 years at the main roster level. So, I'm ignoring Alex Riley because he's been down at NXT. Those days are gone, where you can look at somebody and then look back and suddenly be like, oh, man, he's been here for almost 10 years already, or has been here for 10 years? Holy cow, that went fast. Gone, man. That's not happening anymore. You're right. I mean, to your point, it's probably going to be, you've got 2 to 3 years to make an impact, and if you don't, see you later.
And as, don't mean to interrupt you, Steve, your point, but as we are recording this, the PWInsider.com, just something on the timeline, passed by, though it wasn't announced, and it wasn't acknowledged by WWE in any publicly in any format, but the Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi, who was with the company for over 30 years.
Devastating.
Has been let go. He has been released by the WWE, and the only connection I have to this man is because I physically got him on Twitter for his Twitter account, and got him to be on the Twitter train. He didn't want to do it, but now he is all over, and he can't get enough. But he is gone. He is no longer with with WWE. Of course, you know him, as a jobber, and still made some appearances.
Perhaps the greatest enhancement talent in the history of WWE.
Very, very. I love talking wrestling with him whenever I was backstage with WWE. It was a great guy to just talk with and be around. But he's gone. So the cuts are not even stopping at talent that is on TV, but they are going towards guys that have been with a company for 30 years. I'm sure he was making mad bank for being there for 30 years.
Do you put the Brooklyn Brawler in the Hall of Fame based upon his popularity and kind of like cult-like following for all these years of being such a worker?
I think it. If he hasn't been in by now, it's not going to happen. Which is, I think he should be in because he's very, very well known for being a jobber.
When you think about it, he's actually what the Warrior Ward is all about, right?
Warrior Ward is more for behind the scenes. I mean,
but behind the scenes,
he would go on as a wrestler. The respect to him, he's a wrestler.
Yes.
So,
but in the respect to the essence of what the Ultimate Warrior wanted the award to be, he's that kind of guy who, look, he put the business first and helped everybody else, enhance their talents, so to speak.
Yeah. But respect to him, I'm sure he would like to be recognized as a wrestler.
Not just a Warrior
in
Award.
the same category as whatever.
Yeah. Well, he's not dying, so he's not going to get it anyway.
Well, knock on wood. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But he's only 55 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been in the business for 30 years with WWE. No longer with them. So there's some. By the time you listen to this,
he's been collecting WrestleCon checks for a while now.
Has he been at WrestleCon?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, he will be now.
I don't see him being that kind of. He's not that kind of guy.
Want to go do it?
No, he's not. You never see him in the public eye. He doesn't like greeting with fans and stuff. He's not looking for that. He doesn't strike me as a guy that's going to.
We'd love to talk to him about the business of wrestling.
Well, I'll send him a DM.
That would be fun.
I'll send him a DM, see if he responds.
You're gonna slide into the Brooklyn Brawlers DMs.
Hey, I was sliding in Dana Brooks' DMs last night.
Hey now. Hey.
Just saying congratulations on Raw.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Yeah.
She's.
Did you try to pass off a Vader penis pic as your own?
No, she has plenty of I'm not going to say names, but plenty of other Cleveland wrestlers that she can slide in their DM.
Right,
boxes.
that's right.
So yeah, but Brooklyn Brawler, he's gone from WWE. But I mean, back to your point of the roster being too big, or if it's a split should happen. Like I said, I just think it's more of getting these guys up, and you're exactly right. If he doesn't work out, and it's all about Vince. If Vince gives up on you, just because you're NXT, you're big in NXT, does not mean you're going to be big on the main roster. And if you're brought up and Triple H backs you, and you don't cut it on the main roster, Vince is going to give up, and you're not going to get any TV time. And that's the way it goes. Vince is the final stop.
Yeah, but also, so gone are the days where guys been in the business, or in the company, I should say, for 10 years. Been with the big company for about 10 years. So now it'll be maybe 2 to 3 years if you don't make it and you're out. But also gone are the days where you see guys who come up, they get that one shot, and then they're gone, and then it seems like they're struggling much more. Yeah. Because of all these small businesses, because I would say independent wrestling flourishing now more than ever, that 2 to 3 years is still going to help make you quite the career for some time, even if you're no longer on the main roster. If you go back out to the indies, you're going to draw some money. And
this is a great segue into our next discussion about EC3 invading Evolve and getting involved in Johnny Gargano and attacking with him and Drew McIntyre going at it. And before we get into that promo and kind of what that stands for and what EC3 said, but this is the reason why WWE is the way it is they take someone who may have an indie following, or they're looked at as this one character, and they change them up to repackage them what they want. It doesn't work out. That's why some top indie guys like Zack Sabre Jr., the Young Bucks, they're so hesitant about going to WWE because they're doing so well on the indie scene as their own brand.
Yeah, what they're doing already works.
And why would they want to risk being changed to something else and losing that momentum, and then possibly being something else, and then getting fired, and then going back to indie scene? Why lose that momentum? And we talked to Young Bucks. We talked to them about that. Going to WWE, it would almost have to be a thing like a Anderson and Gallows to where they go in as what they're known for right now.
Right.
They don't change them up. If the Young Bucks would go to WWE, it would have to be as the Young Bucks after what they're doing right now. But they're killing it with merch. They're killing it with T-shirts. I mean, they're making probably more money than I think WWE can offer them right now.
Oh, if WWE called them up right now, though, and said, hey, we want to push this storyline even further with AJ Styles, Gallows, and Carl Anderson, will you guys come in and join up with them and just get the whole club going? That is probably an ideal dream scenario for the Young Bucks, in which they might say, oh, yes, because that's us. That's who we are. That's what we are. We're not changing anything. I don't think that's going to happen.
No,
I'm just saying that's the kind of scenario from when we had talked to them over a year ago at this point that would get them into WWE, where that they would be okay with doing it.
Yeah, they would have to, and the money it would have to be there, obviously,
well,
too.
Sure. Yeah.
And probably kind of a direction on what they're going to be when this.
Oh, they were making money at that point when they sat down with us, and their popularity has just grown and grown.
Yeah, and we were talking about this as well, they are basically taking over the Bullet Club. They are kind of, with Kenny Omega, they are the elite, which is what they love to be called, and they're adding some new members, which we'll talk about later in the show as well, for the indie scene. But, they are, Zack Sabre Jr., doesn't need, guys like that, they don't need WWE to kind of, legitimize their wrestling career because they're doing fine on their own. Obviously, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be in the Cruiserweight Series tournament they're going to be doing for WWE. Great exposure for them. Going to be on the network. Going to be at Full Sail. He'll get more exposure than what the indie promotions can do for him.
Yeah.
So it's great. But is he going to be tied down by the handcuffs of WWE? No. He's just going to get the exposure. Does it mean he's going to sign? Probably not. Guys like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso, guys that are, we see them in NXT, but they can still go to the indie scene. They are in charge of their own character, their own brand, which is great. If Johnny Gargano go to NXT, yeah, it'd be awesome. But what if it doesn't work out?
Yeah.
And he's stuck at NXT. We can't see him here in Cleveland. We can't see him here, at Evolve. We can't see him, in other promotions as well around the world. He'll be stuck in Orlando, which I think Johnny doesn't want to do unless he's going to be on the main roster. And we talked to him about that. He would love to be in WWE, but then again, he's happy where he's at.
Yeah.
So it's nice that these indie wrestlers, they love to be in WWE, but it's not their, I'm doing anything I can to be in there. I'm doing me right now. I am making money from making T-shirt sales and being my own boss. And if WWE blows me away with an offer, I'll take it. But until then, I'm happy with what I'm doing.
It's almost back to the territory days.
Yeah.
Right? Where you can make a living going from territory to territory to territory, and there wasn't one huge company. There is this one huge company, but if you're at the top of your game on the independent circuit, you don't necessarily need that huge company.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice. It's refreshing. But still, would love to see a legit competitor to WWE to kind of push the tables, push the envelope, so to speak. Which leads into another topic that we'll be talking about is, if you haven't seen our website, it's up there. The video's up there. The complete transcript for you is up there. And EC3, the only guest on our show that's been on our show 3 times, is invading. Evolve gets involved in the McIntyre-Gargano match and takes over the mic and drop some pipe bombs, if you want to call them that.
Truth serum.
Talking about Triple H, talking about his time in WWE, and him and McIntyre, saying WWE dropped the ball, they blew it, and calling guys like Gargano and other wrestlers who are involved in the Cruiserweight, division series thing, good soldiers. You don't want to upset the, Triple H because you might get a job in WWE, saying how he did it on his own, after WWE, with TNA and whatnot, taking a shot at Bill DeMott. We all know, certain wrestlers do not like Bill DeMott for their own reasons that we, 100% can't confirm, but we kind of know the backstory with that. But and the funny thing is too, with this EC3 promo, and it's come out that, Triple H sounded off and was okay with it. And of course we know Evolve is partner with WWE. So, it's just funny to see, the TNA world champion and Drew Galloway, which they don't recognize. They don't kind of mention that.
Right.
And then EC3, who is a former TNA champion, who has flourished being in TNA, probably the best character they have developed from start to finish. Well, not finish, but start to now in TNA. Kind of, go against Gargano, who's NXT. TJ Perkins is going to be Gargano's opponent in this match in June at Evolve, who is in the Cruiserweight Series. It's just funny when you see that, and they don't want to say it's TNA versus WWE. It's more of, independent kind of going back and forth, but it's, for us that kind of more educated, it has that feel to it. And hey, kudos to Triple H for sounding off on it, being okay for EC3 to say those kind of things on the mic on an Evolve show, which WWE's partner with. And I think it makes it more compelling. I think this is what wrestling needs, to have that. And if you have one thing controlling all the independent scenes like this, it just wouldn't be fun. This is fun. Watching this is fun. This is real. This is legit. And it makes me want to go to the show. It makes me want to go to Orlando and watch this match because of this promo and EC3 on the mic and this match of 4 excellent guys in the ring.
Well, he's smart, too, because Triple H, look, he's a good businessman. He's a smart businessman.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon has always been a smart businessman, for the most part, that XFL notwithstanding. But
WB New York.
That's right. However, all this really does is gain more attention to Johnny and TJ Perkins and NXT. So now you're watching this, and you're like, oh, well, what's this promo he's cutting? And I'm a big EC3 fan watching TNA. Oh, who's this guy? He's cutting a promo on Johnny Gargano. What's his deal? Oh, he's on NXT. I'm going to watch NXT now. That's for the people on the outside who are not watching NXT but are into this stuff, So it's just drawing more attention to somebody who maybe hasn't watched Johnny on NXT. And EC3 references he and Drew McIntyre being world champions. Just doesn't say what brand, but it's why wouldn't you sign off on it from a business standpoint? Plus, I think that
the ego of Triple H.
Yeah, but
he has a huge ego.
He knows that I think he knows that it behooves them to still keep some things separate. As much as they say they don't care about what's out on the internet, what's there, what's on that, you don't want to become a huge mega giant that controls everything, because they already see some backlash.
Yeah.
Right? So now if they really start to control this next bigger brand on the independent circuit, they're going to get even more backlash. Yeah. So it's smart of him to let the attention come in and then just go from there.
Yeah, but it's not surprising, for me, for WWE to sign off, but for Triple H himself, just because of, like I said, his ego. He doesn't really like negative things being said about him. Definitely, not on other independent shows, and especially, behind the scenes. And we all know him. He loves to be, the main attraction. So, for a TNA guy to say those things, it was still, it's still a head turner. Making headlines. People are interested. It has thousands and thousands of views on YouTube, especially the Evolve YouTube page, and it had 30,000 views on some kid recording with his phone. So people want to see that. People are interested, and it's a win-win for everybody. And the match is going to be excellent. And then the next night you're going to see Ethan Page take on Drew McIntyre, which Page has been on the show. Big fan of him, who's gotten in hella shape, and since we've had him on the show, and who is the AIW champion as well. Just a guy that. Good to see him get some FaceTime in all this, because he rightfully deserves a look at if he wants to go to NXT or WWE as well. So it's a win-win for everybody, and hopefully this turns out to be a good, well thought out match when it comes in June. Sticking with the independent scene and mixing WWE with it, the Bullet Club, we talked about them, the Elite, added 2 members the last couple days. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Ring of Honor, or you haven't watched Ring of Honor or gotten the news today, you have Adam Cole joining the Bullet Club, then Adam Page joining the Bullet Club. And it's funny, someone tagged Ethan Page congratulating him on joining the Bullet Club, and Ethan Page responded, I guess they let anybody in now. So, but yeah, Adam Page is in the Bullet Club. That happened last night at Ring of Honor. who has a partnership with New Japan Wrestling, obviously with the Bullet Club. But if you watch Global Wars, which was the pay-per-view, and I had a chance to watch it, the main event was Colt Cabana versus Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor Championship. You had Taylor Hendricks looking fine, coming down with Jay Lethal. Kudos to Colt Cabana is a former champion, but making a return to Ring of Honor as well, looking great and having a great match. But the Young Bucks concluded the night
stealing the show
with 51 super kicks, and from everybody to the ring announcers, cameramen, referees, personnel, even the Young Bucks' father got super kicked. Wrestlers, 51. They were saying they're going to be a super kick party. In their match, actually, there were no super kicks.
Oh,
They won the match, and there were no super kicks. But at the end of the night, they had 51 in the final segment of the show, which had Adam Cole being in the and it was probably one of the best endings to a wrestling show I have ever seen. The whole show was great wrestling. If you have a chance to download it or watch it, please do. If you like, real classic, no comedic, stupid hoopla, advertising, bad announcing, a wrestling show. It's a really, really, really good show. So if you have a chance, but Bullet Club leading into it, NXT, WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, they are dominating
everything
wrestling world right now.
They are this generation's clique, right?
I don't say not as tight knit, but
no, but I mean that's when you think about it. You look at the clique, and Shawn Michaels and Triple H go on to dominate WWE storylines or are part of storylines for years and years to come, and or the biggest thing going. And then in WCW you have Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and NWO happening. So I just reference them with that, and I guess throw X-Pac in there. Sean Waltman's with them too, but I reference that in the fact that there they are with the brands. They're spread out, and so anywhere you look, there's members of the clique. Anywhere you look, there's the Bullet Club, or people with that Bullet Club past with them.
Now, Steve, be careful now.
I'm sorry, the club.
We can't call them the Bullet Club in WWE.
It's the club.
It is trademarked by New Japan. They own the rights to the name, which is why you see them in Ring of Honor, New Japan being called the Bullet Club. But in WWE, they are considered the club, which is, I think, extremely lazy. And could this be a placeholder until Finn comes up and they call it Balor Club, which is all over T-shirts already for Finn?
Right.
But still, calling them the club just doesn't have that same kind of feel to it. It doesn't have that kind of masculine fear.
Yeah.
From they're not going to use guns or bullets because of PG, and they don't want people to be upset, blah, blah, blah. But calling them the club, just, ugh.
You're just like missing something.
It's just the club.
Yeah.
You're
know
not
what
in
else
the
I know
club.
is missing?
No girls allowed.
When you talk about it doesn't have that fear, that resonating with it, will Gallows wait to put the face paint on for a pay-per-view?
I don't think he'll ever put the face
Or he won't do the face
I don't
paint here?
think he will, probably.
No? Because that's probably
that's
with
Japan
New
kind of
Japan thing too.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they were going to let that translate over or not.
Yeah, I don't think they.
Because they brought in Finn's Demon.
Yeah, I don't think.
All right, but yes, the club. Look,
Yeah.
at this point they keep saying the club. I'm waiting for 50 Cent to join. Because he's like, yo, that's my jam, man. I'm in the club.
You've been waiting all week for that joke to drop.
I just thought of it.
You've been waiting all week.
Listen, if this cord wasn't wrapped around this post right now, I would drop the mic.
Oh God, you've been waiting all week to drop that. But yeah, I mean, hey, the club. Hopefully, when Finn comes up, it changes. But just not.
It has a little bit of a stigma.
No,
like when
the club.
No, not like to just sit around.
I'm thinking of my car being broken into, and all the club is there to help me out.
But the way, if JBL just says it naturally in conversation, there were a couple moments where he was like, "Oh, you got to be in the club to do it." Like it just sounds like these guys are just a tight knit group, not necessarily Bullet Club, just like look, they are the club. They are the group that you want to be a part of.
I guess, but just
but standing on its own,
Yeah.
it sounds ridiculous.
I don't want a T-shirt that says a club on it. Like whoop-de-doo.
Yeah,
Could be anything. Doesn't seem organic or unique.
It's not unique.
It just doesn't sound. It just sounds like
What was
I'm 10 years old or something.
What about the backstage crew?
What do you mean?
Could they be that?
No.
That's the Undertaker's crew.
What?
The Undertaker backstage crew. There was the Click, and then there was the Undertaker. He had his posse. They were supposed to be like the Click. That's what his BSK is.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
His tattoo. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I mean, no one knows that. Unless you're a diehard wrestling fan.
Right. Well, I mean, wrestling fans will buy anything. They'll buy a T-shirt that says the club. They'll buy a T-shirt that says the Click, and that's not like as
I'm
catchy
not
or cool
wasting
of a
my
name.
money on a club, even though
I'm not either.
Have a Bullet Club T-shirt. The club just looks terrible. Oh, someone did actually make a T-shirt with the club, with the Bullet Club kind of, the same kind of imaging.
Yeah.
And they had actually, instead of the guns, they had the club.
The club.
The club, kind of
For
like
your
for the
car.
car. Yeah, which is I would wear that. I mean, that's kind of cool. I would sell T-shirts.
Should they just call it the BC?
The BC? No, this doesn't. Before
British
Christ.
Columbia.
Yeah, before Christ.
Before Christ.
Don't think. No.
All right. Well, then yes. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
But I get why they did it, because at this point you have to reference what they were. All they kept saying before that is like, oh, they were buddies in Japan.
Yeah.
So everybody knows it's a Bullet Club. These guys are tied together. You got to reference it in some way, and they've just gone with the club. Hopefully that doesn't mean that's what they're going to call them.
Well, we'll see how this pans out with the Bullet Club, and if Finn comes up, and if the Young Bucks actually go to WWE, they're under contract with Ring of Honor. But it's nice to see a group of guys expanding and being in different promotions, and still
it's a new era. Sorry,
it's not.
Couldn't help myself.
But it's still great to see with all those guys going on. So, something that kind of happened today, last couple of days, is WWE having these network specials, and these are not like a pay-per-view, so to speak, but they are like network special shows. They had King of the Ring, and they had Elimination Chamber, which were like kind of not on the pay-per-view schedule, but they had their own standalone shows.
The Beast in the East, right?
Yeah. So now they have the MSG special.
Before
so,
Payback or whatever.
But they're going to be in Hawaii for the first time in 7 years, and the lineup rivals a WrestleMania card. You have John Cena going against Nakamura, which is going to be great. You're going to have Lesnar taking on Kevin Owens, Charlotte taking on Asuka, and you're going to think New Day is going to be there, Jericho is going to be there, so obviously other guys.
And this is all just what's advertised at the moment, right?
Yeah.
There's no, it could change, of course, but
yeah, and
that'd be an incredible lineup.
And there's a rumor that since they are doing this in Hawaii, and Hawaii is known for its
volcanoes.
I thought you were going to say beaches, but I was going to say volcanoes.
Warthogs.
They're known for their volcanoes, but they're also known for their beautiful beaches. Even though I've never been there before,
they're hula dancers.
Yes,
I'm just gonna keep saying things. Sorry, they're
known,
luau's.
Yes,
pig roast,
hot liquid magma.
Magma.
Bash at the Beach is the rumored name for this WWE Network special, bringing back the old WCW pay-per-view title, which I think they should do more of. But the lineup is great. The having it in Hawaii is great, and naming it Bash at the Beach, if it is that, would be great as well.
Yeah,
I'm down. I'm down for this little, well, not pay-per-view, but for this show featuring 3 top matches that can rival a WrestleMania card in the next 5 to 10 years.
No, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I think that John Cena Nakamura somehow ends in a no decision turns into a tag team match.
Nope, Cena goes over.
Cena's not going to lose to Nakamura.
No.
That's obvious.
Yeah.
But you can't. It wouldn't be fair to just make that a 5 to 10 minute match.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially squashing Nakamura after building him up to stuff.
Yeah.
But that would be fun to watch. Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
That'd be entertaining.
They're not going to go all out so don't think that this is going to have a 5-star match rating. This is going to be treated as a house show, internally. So I mean, it's nice to see these matchups being, first time matchups being thrown out there, which is great. But it's going to be fun to watch. But I mean, come on, we're not going to be expecting 5-star matches.
Any word on if they will bring in a sumo wrestler and have a body slam competition trying to body slam him?
Hey, maybe, you never know.
Was that in Hawaii on the ship?
Was that?
I don't remember. I just remember it was on one of the
Can Lex Luger
naval ships there
to do this?
Lex
again?
Luger. They choppered him in. The
That's
chopper.
great.
And they body slammed Yokozuna
That was terrific.
after the seamen
I'm
were
not sure if
unable
that
to.
was in Hawaii.
I don't remember if it was or not. It was on the USS,
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
the big battleship there is.
It was the USS Intrepid in New York City, Steve Guy.
New York City.
I know you were looking that up, but we got
Yep.
it for you.
Yeah.
New York City and July 4th. Not on July 4th. It was taped earlier, but
Yeah, they
shown on July
yeah.
4th. That was, 23 years ago.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Time flies,
It's the
man.
Lex Express.
Time flies.
Wow.
All right. Well, look for that event in Hawaii, and hopefully, knock on wood, it's going to be called Bash at the Beach. I think that wraps it up for this week. We got through everything. Really quick, AIWrestling.com is a website for Absolute Intense Wrestling. They have a big tournament coming up Memorial Day weekend, Friday and Saturday. A big J-Lit tournament, and they have the first 5 announced matches. Colt Cabana versus Homicide, Dan Severn versus Colin Delaney, Tyson Dukes versus Tracy Williams, Ray Rowe versus Big Damo, Veda Scott versus Cedric Alexander. So there's some great matches going to be that weekend.
How are we going to put Hot Sauce Entertainment against each other?
How are you going to put Cedric versus Veda? They are a manager /
Yeah.
wrestler in Ring of Honor. How are we
Just
going
trying to
do
break
that?
everybody up.
Trying to break everybody up. And Rowe versus Big Damo is
That'll be fun.
just 2 big bearded hairy men going at it.
Speaking of large men, it was announced earlier today.
Oh, thought you were talking about me.
Yeah. that they are going to proceed forward with the Andre the Giant biopic. So now not only does he have his own Memorial Battle Royal, but there is slated to be an Andre the Giant movie. Think who's the cast of characters in this movie, Glenn? Who else has to be in this biopic? It's based upon comics
Tim
that
White.
they made. You gotta have a Hulk Hogan, right?
Maybe.
Bobby the Brain Heenan, probably.
Yeah.
Who plays Andre the Giant? He's massive, 7'4".
The Big Show.
That's your most obvious choice, right?
Big Cass.
Does it have to be somebody in WWE currently?
No. This is not a WWE studio production to throw it out there.
Do they get involved in it?
No.
I don't think it's going to be PG.
No, it's not going to be, well, not even that. But
Now if you read the stories,
their
of Andre
movies
the
aren't
Giant's life.
PG.
That's true too.
People get shot at.
The one name always thrown out there is, he was known as Kurgan from The Oddities.
Right.
He's an actor. He's been in the Sherlock Holmes film. So he may
The Great
be
Khali.
Great Khali, sure. Kurgan apparently speaks French.
Khali's a great actor, though.
And Khali's an excellent actor.
Longest
He's
Yard?
been in The Longest Yard. Yeah, he's got the movie
What
roles
else?
under his belt.
What else has he been in?
What else was he in?
I
Is that
don't
it?
know either. I figured you're the movie kind of story here.
He's the Punjabi prince. He's,
Playboy. Get it
Playboy,
right.
sorry.
Get it right.
So it's probably in some Indian snuff films. I don't know. Look, Shaq, he's big enough. He could play it.
No, can't do Shaq.
No, some obvious differences there.
Obviously.
Oh, okay. I don't know who would play.
Give it to Kurgan. Make him gain 40 pounds before.
Who would you pick to play Bobby the Brain Heenan?
Oh, jeez. I would pick. Don't even know.
I think this is going to be an odd one to throw out there, but I think Patton Oswalt for some reason just came up in my mind.
Oh my god! If you're gonna mix all these,
I think
terrible,
he would be good.
Terrible comedian actors in this movie, I'm not even gonna watch.
Well, he's done like serious role, but he's
You know what?
he's
If we're
witty.
gonna do that route,
He's witty.
okay. If you're gonna bring witty, I'm gonna bring a guy that's actually a good actor. Let's bring Louis C.K. to be Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh, that would be great.
There
you
you
know what?
go.
Even better. I will agree with you.
Louis
C.K.
CK
would be an amazing Bobby the Brain
That'd be
Heenan.
terrific.
I'm down with that. That's a great choice right there,
Thank
Glenmore.
Thank you
I
very
would
much.
so be all for Louis.
So who's gonna play
CK.
Hulk Hogan?
That's
You know what they'll probably do? They won't. They'll. I figured this movie will
if
be.
WWE gets involved, Hulk Hogan won't be in
They
it.
won't get involved. If they're going to do this, it's going to be more about the outside the ring stuff with family and friends and
Yeah.
all his drinking escapades and womanizing and all the stuff he did outside the ring. I don't think it's going to be a lot about inside the ring. I think it's going to be like if they show a Hogan, it's going to be like the from behind with the guy with yellow trunks and the white
long
hair.
hair or something. Yeah.
So it could be anybody. It could be a stunt double. I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be anything like in-depth wrestling matches. It's just going to be maybe clips here and there. But Steve Guy, who would you play?
Who would I be in the movie?
Who would you be in the movie?
I would play the role of Mandy Patinkin if they go behind the scenes of The Princess Bride. He's you
Damn.
killed my father.
I think you'd be more of a Bob Uecker kind of.
I would love to be Bob Uecker in the movie.
I would gladly be Big John Studd.
You want to be Big John Studd?
Big John Studd.
I like to be Mandy Patinkin. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
I have not seen Princess Bride.
Oh
so
my goodness, that's great.
I've seen the
It's
Princess.
such a great
Princess
movie.
Diaries with Anne Hathaway.
Oh, you should dub that out. Unbelievable.
I am not ashamed.
You should go see the
Anne Hathaway
see the
is
Princess
gorgeous.
Bride.
She's
She was
gorgeous.
like 16 in that movie.
Absolutely not, Steve Guy. If you're gonna accuse me of liking a minor, I had to look this up right now, see how old she was.
No, she's like our age.
She is
so
33
was probably-
right now.
Yeah.
And the Princess Diaries was 2001. So she's basically that was what?
It was in
15
2001.
years? So she was 18 years old.
You made it. You just made it.
Yeah, she was 18. So get it right.
All right, fair enough. That's fine.
Legal.
I saw that movie.
Hopefully.
I saw that movie too.
Yeah, it was great.
With a girlfriend at the time, though.
I had two sisters. I mean, it was a
All right. No, it's fine.
women-dominating household.
It's fair. Anne Hathaway, she's an attractive lady.
Very, very attractive. Taylor Swift. I am not shy about my love for Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'm not on the Taylor Swift bandwagon quite as much, but
Well, I am all over. I am the bandwagon.
maybe she could play Hulk Hogan with the long blonde hair.
No, she's definitely. Hulk Hogan
Just
would
from
be
behind.
played by just a regular stand-in guy. Some, maybe Colt Cabana, maybe, put a wig on him.
Sure.
There you go. But yeah, so, hey, if WWE doesn't touch this thing, I think it'll be great.
If WWE does such a thing, that's what I'm saying. Hulk
It's
Hogan will be
gonna be
stricken from the record books,
Extremely
just like
watered
the
down.
encyclopedia.
Yeah, they're not going to. Hopefully they don't touch it.
Yeah.
Just let it be. Let all the stories come out because there's a ton of stories about Andre the Giant. Let it come out organically and not filtered through the powers that be at WWE.
Yeah, you let us know, listeners, who you think should be in this movie.
Yeah.
Whether it's playing Andre or some other cast of characters, you're casting the Andre the Giant biopic. Who do you think should play what role? Tweet at us, TIA Wrestling, upon listening to this episode, and let us know your thoughts.
Really quick, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah.
We talked about him. He had a scary situation last week. Was in the hospital. He's back home recovering. I think he fell.
Oh.
But he's recovering. Of course, we all know his situation. He was known for his mouth, his witty comebacks and witty banter. He can barely speak now with what he went through. But still, great to see him on the mend and see him, out of the hospital.
Yeah, best to him.
And we mentioned it, Dana Brooke, but I think she deserves her own little, cue here. Dana Brooke, a woman that came out of the weightlifting,
Bodybuilding.
and was seen, and she has vastly improved. I admit she was not very good when we first saw her NXT, but she has improved and has got a persona, and teaming with Emma. And I think it's
good
great.
back and forth there.
Yeah,
I like the rapport.
With Naomi and Tamina. I think Naomi's injured. You have that tag team out of the picture, so this replaces them, and I think it's you have two girls from NXT and Emma who had a run in WWE, but still, with Dana Brooke, I think is a great tag team and kind of mixes it up from the, Becky and Sasha and Charlotte, three-way they have going.
Could we eventually see Diva tag team? or not. I'm sorry, I don't mean diva. Women's tag team title battles.
I don't think so. That's just too
No?
much time involved because you're gonna have your diva segment in the show for
Your
Total
women's segment.
Divas. No,
Oh, you mean? I see
for
what
Total
you're saying.
Divas, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna have your women's wrestling segment.
Sure.
So there's 2 segments. That's all they're gonna give it. So let's keep it. Yeah, there's
All
too much going on to add.
I was just
add
thinking
more
because of the
belts.
rapport of a Dana Brooke and an Emma, and they make a good team.
I mean, I think
it's
it'd be
fun to
great.
watch.
I
So,
think it'd be great, but
I mean, I don't know who else you'd pair together
let's
right now.
cleanse the divas.
Let's get just the women's wrestling,
Right.
and then maybe eventually down
Yeah.
the road.
We
That's
were-
what I was
Bella
thinking. Down the
Twins are already
road,
out.
do we see it? But
Bella Twins are already out of there. I mean, well, Nikki is hopefully doesn't come back.
we'll
but-
see what happens.
Yeah, but gotta get the deep. Flush the bad wrestling out, and I'm all for it. But
It's a new era.
new.
Just had to get that in one more
Well,
time.
If I'm drinking, we'll be drunk by now, taking sips for New Era. But yeah, so kudos to Dana Brooke for making her Raw. Pride of Seven Hills, Ohio, right here in Northeast Ohio.
Right here.
You got Miz, you got Ziggler, you have Gargano, you have now Dana Brooke, EC3 with TNA, Northeast Ohio on the map.
Ray Rowe
Ray
in
Rowe.
Ring of Honor. Although
On
he
the
is got an injury, he's nursing at the moment. I just saw him tweet something out. So
Yeah.
best wishes to him too,
Yeah.
of course.
He wrestled last night over the weekend.
Yeah,
They
Got
lost the tag team championship.
he got injured during that time.
Not
so he's
good.
headed home.
But hopefully he's. I mean, the guy almost died from a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, I think the injury will be
Anything
be okay.
else
It'll be
is
fine.
just minor to him. But geez, that guy's a beast. But yeah, Northeast Ohio on the map when it comes to professional wrestling.
You know it.
So and a lot of those guys have been on the show. So looking forward to seeing how Dana Brooke performs on Raw, and plenty of head tapping to come. All right, time for a new bit on the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. To finish the show up, we're going to do this each and every show, and interactive, because you can let us know what you think about it, and you can submit your ideas and also your submissions to our awesome finish. This is our last bit to end the show. This is Steve's idea, so if this tanks, you can blame Steve for this. But what we're going to do is, basically, we're going to pick a person in the world of the world and pick someone.
World of the world.
I mean, anybody.
Pop culture. They don't have to be in wrestling, is what we're saying.
It could be anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
It could be the guy down the street.
Yeah.
It could be the pizza man that delivered pizza terrible.
Could be that guy who was staring in the window
Could be
10
him.
minutes ago.
It could be him. It could be the person that stole the last parking spot doing yoga. It could be that person.
Could be them. Yeah.
Could be anybody. But Steve, I'll let you do the introduction for this. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so the whole point of this is the awesome finish. Not only are we ending the show, but this is a person that we believe deserves to be put in their place for whatever reason, and they are going to get the finishing move of our choice. So perhaps it's a Stone Cold Stunner, perhaps it's a Rock Bottom. Whatever move we choose that week, they are going to get it. We'll tell you who they are. We'll tell you why. It is the awesome finish. So as Glenn said, by all means, interact with us, tweet at us, let us know. Maybe there's somebody in your life that you think deserves the awesome finish at the end of a show. Let us know who it is.
All right, Steve. So this is
Here we
your
go.
bit. You go
This
ahead.
week, here it is, the awesome finish. I believe I want to invite, because we talked about the Bullet Club and the Young Bucks, I want to invite a couple different people to a super kick party. I think they're deserving of it.
Some sweet chin music.
Some sweet chin music, super kick party happening to Adam Silver from the NBA, his little spokesperson from the NBA, and one Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat. If you don't know the story by now, the Miami Heat are playing the Toronto Raptors in the playoffs, and it, as is customary, before every game with a Canadian team, in all of sports, you not only have the American national anthem, but you have the Canadian national anthem. Dwayne Wade was doing shooting practice during the Canadian national anthem and not lined up like everybody else. That's completely disrespectful.
Is he Canadian though?
No, it doesn't matter. But all the Canadian people stand for the U.S. Years ago,
They don't
Sharif
have to.
Abdur-Rahim, who was American but didn't decide to become Muslim, didn't stand for the American national anthem, and then he got suspended. Here's the thing. Dwayne Wade wasn't even fined or anything. You have a basketball team from Canada playing in this. You need to show respect to this organization that is a part of your NBA. And you know what happened? All they did, the NBA comes out and says, hey, we're going to educate the Miami Heat better and let them know why this is important. What? Send a message. Find his ass. I'm sending a message to you guys. You're invited to the Super Kick Party. Some sweet chin music to Adam Silver, his little spokesperson at the NBA, and Dwayne Wade. That's my awesome finish for this week.
Wait a minute! Super Kick! Super Kick!
All right, my awesome finish is going to be a Vader bomb.
Ooh.
Off the top rope. We all know I love Vader. Going to a Mr. Johnny Manziel, a man that I have never been a fan of since his tenure with the Browns. He is now gone, but still making headlines for beating women and basically trashing hotel rooms and being the bar scene. And this is not anything he's done lately. It's more of a last 2 years of frustration if you're a Browns fan, because he has just totally lacked any kind of football player performance on the field or off the field as well. And kind of made another joke for Cleveland on the map of the sports world. So my Vader bomb goes to Johnny Manziel, and that's my awesome finish.
Vader going up now, Samuel Vega must move! Straight on! A Vader bomb! A cover-up count! And a victory, and I might add, a very impressive one.
That's going to do it for this week. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com is the website. We highly encourage you to visit the site when you can. It's mobile friendly. You can search and scroll through all our stories, past interviews, and shows. And we post news tidbits throughout the day as well that we find relevant for you to know. Also, Facebook, This is Awesome Wrestling Show. Twitter, TIA Wrestling. Also, Instagram, we post on there as well. And new show drops every Tuesday night. So we'll see you guys next week. Make sure to hit up AIWrestling.com for local independent wrestling here in Cleveland. And make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Twitter, everything I just said, but mainly iTunes because we need subscribers. We would love to have your rating, your comment, and really appreciate you guys being involved with the show when it comes to responding to our tweets and also our shows on iTunes and Stitcher and Clips and anything you want to download for our show. So we'll talk to you guys next week. This is Awesome Wrestling Show on CLEsound.com. Later.